I need a little bit of water, I can like spritz my canvas basically to add in the water that I need so that it's not like, so the paint's not so thick. And I'm just going to give this a first quick coat basically. That I can do other stuff on top of. All right, there's that edge. I'm going to try really hard to not get paint all over my body. Yeah, if I don't want to get my palette all grimy, I can just spritz a little bit of water on the canvas and it will spread out the paint for me a little bit better than if I was just using it directly out of the pot. It's so thick and I don't really need it that thick. Even if I put 2 coats, I don't like the paint to be thick and streaky. It's not like an oil to me where you need like texture or brush strokes or whatever. Maybe that comes from painting walls with my husband for so many years. But this little tiny brush, as I was saying before, how much like paint it holds. You see, this is just, well, this is so old I can't tell you what size it is. I'll have to look at the new one that I got, which is actually over here. It is a size 12 because I replaced it. It holds tons and tons and tons of water. It's just ridiculous. And tons of paint. And I can actually cover a whole surface and not need like a wide 3-inch brush to do it. Because the problem with that, you might be like, well, why would you use that tiny little brush on that big canvas? That's a really good question if you asked it, which if you didn't, it's fine. It's because when you use paint in a paintbrush, there's paint absorbed into the brush basically. And so I would lose a lot of paint if I did that. You end up washing a bunch of paint out of the brush. So there's a good reason why I want to use the largest paintbrush that I can reasonably to fill a space, but at the same time, I don't want to be wasteful, and I don't want to use like a 2-inch or 3-inch brush like you might use on a wall or to cut in a wall or something, because you've got a gallon of that paint to work with, or maybe several gallons, right? But on it, with this, I've pre-mixed this and I don't want to run out of it quite at this point. So I actually will use a smaller brush because that's less paint that I'm using, but not so tiny that it would take me all day to do it. You know what I mean? So I love how the water helps this just to glide and get good coverage. I can still keep the paint, like I can thicken the paint right on the canvas by adding more paint to it if there's too much water on it. If it gets too watery. Don't want to forget my edge here. There we go. Lovely. The trick will be, can I paint this edge without getting it all over me? I tend to get a good amount of paint on me. I like to start my day with a bath because for me, it's like I don't drink coffee. I drink tea sometimes, but it's like my wake me up is my bath. I just run it real hot and just for a few minutes first thing in the morning. But I end up always taking a bath at night because the paint is always all over me. It's a good, now I'm used to it and I almost need it to go to sleep, you know. I hope I'm not missing your comments. The phone didn't seem to be 100%, this little device here didn't seem to be 100% caught up to you guys there, but, or not caught up, it seemed to miss some. So I hope that I didn't miss any. But anyways, if you're an artist and you are looking for a fellow creative to support your journey, definitely tell me who you are so that I can follow you and we can support each other if you post your work. And I just do a whole variety of work, in a whole variety of different mediums and with variety of subject matter, like everything. I've just done this for so many years that I've like gone from one thing to another, which I think is pretty common for artists that like make art their whole life. I think people get used to the Kate Mandigos and the Thomas Kincaids and think, well, you know, they only made one kind of artwork, you know, which some artists do that, but many don't do that If you go to a retrospective of an artist, you're going to see that their art and their mediums and even what they represent and all that will change as they learn and grow and change as individuals. Like even music artists, they're famous for over time changing and, you know, doing different things. My husband likes to tell me a story about the Grateful Dead. They were doing a concert and some fan like up front in the front row was like mad because they were playing a new song, and the person was like, oh, you need to play this, whatever, you know, whatever their favorite song was. And Jerry is like, listen, people, we got to play new songs. Like, we got to write and play new songs. We can't just play all the old stuff. Unfortunately, that doesn't sell new albums. You know what I mean? And I'm not worried about selling new paintings, but you grow as an artist and you change and your work evolves. And I think that's like the beauty of being an artist, is it's like really representational of just life in general. All right, this last edge, and that did not take that much paint. I'm actually pretty excited to say that. Pretty fun. Don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet, but I'm going to do something. Got to think about that for a minute. All right, let's set that one aside.